to the end of the week. Eric Chilton here, joined by Tanya Rivera and Amanda Ferguson.
Yeah, we've got a whole lot to cover in the next hour. Be sure that you're watching and chiming in on Facebook because we're live right now.
First, let's check on our weather meteorologist. Monique Robinson is keeping an eye on some storms moving through the Triad.
Yeah, this line of storms has been surely enough packing a punch when we're talking about lightning. And you can see it here right with this line, those whites that are kind of popping up and going away with some of these storms that are making their way through have abundant lightning with them. Zooming in a little bit closer to some of those on the northeastern portion of that line, really packing a punch with the lightning, bringing some heavy downpours, but they're moving through fairly quickly and breaking apart. So you can even see, even over the last 15 minutes, how this storm system making its way further south, pushing way through, bringing abundant lightning, and then starting to break apart as it continues in that southeastern direction. So continuously watching that line of storm, the Storm Prediction Center puts parts of the Triad under a marginal risk for severe weather. That is level 1. And the main threat with some of these storms is really the strong gusty winds along with them. If you're in a space that have already seen some of these storms, you can probably account for some of those strong winds that have been with them. So primarily wind is the severe weather threat here with these storms that we're seeing, some heavy downpours along with them. But for the most part, really just wind here. Hail, not so much, even though some of them could possibly have some hail with them. Tornado, not a threat really at all with any of these storms. Flooding, the only reason why I put a low risk on with flooding was some of those areas that have already seen some downpours with Elsa. Some locations could be seeing another round today with this line of storm. So I have flooding on there, but definitely not an overall concern with this line of storm. So here's sort of the timing of things as we go through the course of the evening this Friday. So some storms continue to make their way through. Again, still scattered as we go through the early evening, but then clearing out quickly. And the weekend looks drier but hot. I'll have more details on it in just a bit.
New at 4, the CDC updated guidance on mask wearing in schools this fall. They recommend that vaccinated students and staff do not need to wear masks while in classrooms. Unvaccinated students and staff should still wear them for protection. Now remember, the CDC just issued guidelines for state leaders to use in their decision making. This is not a requirement. Now, we reached out to local school districts and the state's Association of Teachers to get their thoughts on the updated guidelines. Winston-Salem Forsyth County school leaders say it's too early to know if this means changes. They said, quote, "We are not governed by the CDC's regulations. While they are used as guidance for the state, all schools in North Carolina must follow the rules as set forth by North Carolina Strong Schools Toolkit," end quote. The North Carolina Association of Educators also released a statement which says in part, quote, "We are pleased that the CDC has reiterated the necessity of keeping unvaccinated students masked for their own protection," end quote.
All right, let's take a live look at Myrtle Beach this afternoon, a much different scene from 24 hours ago when Elsa was whipping up winds and rain all over that area. Officials in Horry County say even though the storm is gone, beachgoers need to be careful in the water this weekend.
Today in Horry County, there's a moderate risk of rip currents, and that risk should diminish as the weekend goes on, as Elsa pulls away. But because Elsa is spinning just off the coast of New Jersey, Long Island right now, there's still some rough currents due to that. So that just highlights that, that storm can be a couple hundred miles away, still causing some problems for our area beaches.
Now remember, even if the water looks peaceful, rip currents can still be dangerous. You should always check the beach warning flags to see what kind of conditions you can expect there.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Today, funeral services will be held for Patricia Grant. That's the 72-year-old Speedway clerk who was shot and killed in what investigators believe was a robbery. Friends and family say Grant worked all the time, often putting in 70-hour work weeks. Greensboro police arrested 19-year-old Avion Bell this week and charged him with Grant's murder. In addition to the funeral, friends of Grant will also gather for a candlelight vigil at the gas station tonight. A 6.0 earthquake, it rattled California Thursday, which set in motion then dozens of aftershocks still being felt today. One of those aftershocks caused a rock slide in Mono County in the Sierra Nevada mountains. The first quake caused damage to some businesses like an antique store, which saw its merchandise rattle off the shelves. More aftershocks are expected to be felt for a few more days now. All right, so we know Elsa's moving up the coast right now in the northeast. Overnight, it brought heavy wind and rain and even a tornado warning to parts of Maryland. But once the sun was up, most of the worst of the storm was gone. Some strong waves drew out surface, of course, to the beach. But other than that, the tropical storm did little damage. Big things were quite literally moving and shaking on this day back in 1999. It has been 23 years since crews moved the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, that final 79 feet, to its location. The 23-day trip, that's right, 23 days for those 79 feet, was a way to protect the lighthouse, which was getting dangerously close to the ocean due to natural erosion. On this day in 1999, it was placed on its new foundation, a safe 1,600 feet away from the ocean. And I know a lot of folks remember that because they chronicled it like minute by minute by minute by minute.
It took forever, though.
Right.
I remember when they were moving that, they said they have to go 5 feet at a time and then make adjustments and then go 5 feet again. It took a long time.
A lot of weather stuff going on today and this week.
It's true.
I know.
The earthquake thing, we go back to that real
Yeah.
quick. We've felt minor tremors and small quakes in this region, not anything like they feel out west. Have you
Right.
been through that?
So only here, thank goodness. But I do remember sitting in the newsroom and seeing my water move, and I was like, what is going on? And that is when we had that earthquake like about 5 or 6 years ago.
Have you ever been through that
I've
at all?
never felt it. We've had a couple recently, but some people felt that they felt it, but I
Never
felt it.
did.
I've
You?
only, to the earliest, I was in, I guess, middle school at the time, and I remember I was at my neighbor's house, and the house went like this.
Ooh.
And I was like,
Whoa.
what was that? 'Cause I never felt anything like that before. So one of my best friends is from California, and they're like, oh, it's so normal for us to go and stand in the doorways,
Doorway,
you know,
yes.
and embrace and just kind of ride it out. I can't imagine.
No, that would not be me.
I've been through a lot of hurricanes.
Yes, I've done that.
And we have plenty of warning that they're coming, right?
Yes.
But with the earthquake and stuff like that, it just happens.
Have you ever watched those specials where they show you the architecture of buildings and how they earthquake-proof them,
Right,
sort
so
of?
they make them so that they can sway.
Yes, they have rollers underground. The buildings are built on these things, so if the ground shifts, then the ground will shift underneath it and the building stays still. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
All right, you got an experience? You can talk about it on Facebook. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You know, with most career fairs, whether they're online or in person, there's usually a decent amount of jobs available, respectable amount. But for the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of jobs waiting for you. I spoke with Jevelyn Bonner-Reed, Chief Human Resources Officer, about their upcoming career fair. So Jevelyn, you know, when I saw the numbers, I said, there are lots of jobs. It's not just a few that we're doing here. Let's talk about the numbers and the types of jobs that are out there.
In terms of the numbers that we have available, we are somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 teachers that we're looking for. We have 81 schools, so a couple of teachers per school that we're looking for. We also have teacher assistants. We're also looking at about 60 bus drivers, dozens of child nutrition staff. A new area for us is we're adding 5 additional nurses. We're anticipating continuing to need some support through COVID.
So when you look at those numbers, then why are the numbers so high? When I saw more than 190 teaching positions, I thought, wow, to me that sounds like a lot. What's happening there?
It's just, again, back to the COVID years, so many jobs, especially in some of our other fields like bus drivers, child nutrition. We weren't running a full staff because we were out for so long until we came back to in-person in the spring. So we're just needing to build up our old staff.
So with these in-person workshop and webinars, kind of both here, you're not just saying, here are some jobs, you're actually helping people in the process to get this job. How does that work?
Absolutely. We want to help people find jobs in this type of environment. Not everybody is used to doing virtual interviews or virtual career fairs. So ahead of any different career fair that we have, especially the virtual ones, we are holding webinars so that people can learn how to, go to a virtual career fair.
Hey, I know you're busy. Thank you so much for taking time out today. Good information. By the way, something else that she wanted to pass along, they're also looking for hundreds and hundreds of substitutes. She said that those numbers are down too. So if you're interested in any of that, just look for this story on WFMYnews2.com.
All right, here's another creative and really unusual way to land a job in 2021. Enter in TikTok. Yeah, that app is usually the place where users share songs and dances and, all kinds of moves and funny viral moments and the whole dog thing. I love it. But now it's being used to hire. The app just launched TikTok Resumes, an initiative aimed at getting people hired through videos. CBS's Elise Preston shows us how the new job program works.
My goals are to work at the intersection of entertainment and social media.
Brianna Seberg is hoping one of her latest TikTok videos will help her land a job.
I'm a creative, hardworking, and innovative person.
The college student is part of TikTok's marketing campaign of a new pilot program called TikTok Resumes. Users can search job listings at 36 employers and send them a 30-second video.
Did you feel a lot of pressure to get everything that you've done just in a 30-second video?
I sat down, kind of thought about my key takeaways from past internships I've had, past projects that I've worked on.
The new feature comes as more job seekers embrace the video resume.
Hi, I'm Emery, and I'm looking for my dream job.
LinkedIn now allows users to put videos on their profile page. In a survey, 59% of job seekers said video is becoming the new norm, and 76% of hiring managers say a recorded video would be useful.
Hi, my name is Tremanda.
TikTok asked Tremanda Pewitt to create a video resume after she applied to the company. The college student now works part-time for TikTok, but is also looking for jobs in design.
I'm dedicated and loyal, and I learn quickly.
She believes the video lets employers put a face with the name.
Because my name is Tremanda, it's maybe like a Shaniqua or Aisha. I can imagine some people may not even go past my name. With my smile on the video, they're like, oh, cool, her name is Tremanda. And it's a little easier than somebody reading a piece of paper trying to figure out how to say it.
TikTok is testing the feature at this point and looking to see how popular it becomes. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
So here's why I like that. Right now, when you apply for a job, if you don't have all the boxes checked of whatever it is that they want, the computer just kicks you out. right? So
Right.
it used to be back in the day, you would say, if I could just get in front of
Yes.
someone, I could show them that I really want this
Yeah.
job and that we could develop a rapport. This allows you to do that.
That's exactly what I was thinking. So when we see a story, none of us talk because we're going to figure out what we're going to say when it's over with. You said exactly what because I always thought if I could get in front of them, I know that I could throw
Right.
the resume out.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing when I was like applying for jobs. If only I can get in the door. But this is really cool. And guys, this should be no surprise to us the way TikTok is going.
Anything and everything.
And I thought when I first saw the story, just the lead into it, I was like, oh no, how do you get hired? But then I understand you're not getting a job because of that. You're
Right.
getting in the door because of
Right, and it's the elevator pitch, right? And we should all be able to do the 1-minute elevator pitch to tell people why we should have that job or what's good about us.
Back in the day when I wanted to host shows nationally and it was my dream, and I was trying every way to get in, they would not talk to you unless you had like an agent to get you in the door because
Right.
they couldn't do that. So I would call and ask for the production side of the studios, and they would always send me there. And then I said, I'm sorry, I was on hold for the hiring manager, and then they go, okay, and they put me
nice.
through. That's how I would try to get in there. But it didn't work, as you can see, but it was fun.
I know, but there's always those creative
Yeah.
ways to get around it.
Little loopholes. All right, we'll take a short break. We're coming back.
Can you hear me? This one light right here, I guess it's not gonna be fixed right this moment, but this one light right here, like the film is broken and it's like really bright. Well, hot and humid is going to be the story of the weekend, and then we'll get occasional showers and storms. I'm bringing that radar back because just take a look at this tremendous lightning that's even extending well to our north and southern Virginia. I mean, abundant lightning really packing a punch with this line of storms. I'm a fan of weather, obviously, but take a look at the lightning that's been moving through parts of the Triad. Even today, Greensboro, we got wet here at our station, but it moved out quickly. That's the case with these pop-up showers and storms, but the visible satellite, I showed this yesterday with Elsa, but again, we get to see the tops of those clouds really blowing up, as you can see with that line of storms as it crosses the central part of the state. And it really is a nice look at those clouds are really developing, some of which becoming very, very tall. Our weather cam looking across the Triad, Greensboro and High Point, cooler. Why? Because as those showers rolled through, they cooled the air behind it. Winston-Salem warming itself back up because after their showers rolled through, the sun came back out and baked the air once again. So The cooler locations are where the showers have recently moved through. The places that are heating up more quickly, their shower activity made its way through a little bit earlier. Yanceyville, they're at 90 degrees though, a little bit warmer than elsewhere. The dew points riding that uncomfortable line around those 70s. That's going to be the story for the weekend and next week. It's July. That's what it feels like out here. Hot and humid. So for tonight, tracking the chance of scattered showers and storms for the next couple of hours. We're cooling off to some muggy temperatures overnight as those dew points stay elevated. Overall, that full 7-day, putting it all into perspective for you, just hot and humid. Chance of scattered showers and storms throughout the weekend.
Life is filled with the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Sometimes we can feel like those lows cause us to become lost. Coach Lamont shares how love can be the key in today's U-Day message.
I have to admit, I wasn't the best student in high school. Actually, I developed a reputation for always skipping school. I remember my mother would drop me off at the front door, and before she even left the parking lot, I was out the back door leaving. I was a young man lost, trying to find himself. No father to correct my course, no mentors. No one reached out to take me under their wing, to show me life and how to be a man. This was definitely a void I had. Because of this void, I was lost in being lost. You too may be lost due to a void in your life. You may be wandering around waiting to be rescued in certain areas of your life. Like me, your void may be traceable to your childhood. But once you discover what that void is, work on the self, that love that is needed to fill it. Just know that you have the power to rescue yourself from wandering in the valley.
Why? What's it about? Oh, I'll have to. Oh no.
What?
Is he going to state?
He's going to state.
That's why Brad is saying that. He's like, this guy's your worst nightmare. Takes more than one, Lowry. Baby T.
Breon Pass. You've probably heard us mention his name a bunch of times over the years. The former Reedsville football and basketball player is pretty good. So good, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association is noticing.
You're looking at the winner of the 2021 NCHSAA's Male Athlete of the Year, Reedsville's Breon Pass.
Touchdown, Reedsville!
It's a big achievement, you know. I'm blessed to win that award. You know, all my hard work that I put through high school has paid off.
The two-sport athlete, now Reedsville alum, made a big impact on the football field and basketball court for the Rams.
High school, I just had fun. I just enjoyed every moment that I had.
His biggest moments.
When I scored 50 points my junior year, that's probably one of them. Football just was winning championships, especially my last championship game. That was very special to me because my last football game in my high school career.
Breon's had offers to play both sports at the next level. He's sticking with basketball, but how did he decide?
It was kind of hard, you know, a lot of nights when I'm going to bed just thinking about what's gonna make me more money, what's gonna make me like my career really stand out. Talking to my family and just talking to people that I trust, they really just helped me with the process, and I think that choosing basketball was the best decision I made.
He'll be a part of the NC State Wolfpack's roster for the 2021-2022 season.
I can see myself turning into the basketball player that I always dreamed of me turning into.
Even though he's leaving the Triad, he says there's something he learned here he'll carry with him.
Go get what you want to achieve.
Very deserving to win the Male Athlete of the Year. He's actually at NC State right now practicing with the team. He says he's really excited and he thinks he made the right decision, but guys, imagine having
I can't imagine being that talented to be able to go to college for either one and start, right?
Right.
Just to pick. Do I want to play for a major
cool.
Division I in football or basketball?
And you know, they always say that it makes you a better athlete if, even though you're concentrating on this one, that you do something else because it's a little bit different muscles, it makes your mind think differently, so and that way you don't burn out.
I asked him if he's going to miss football, and he said, of course. He says he watches his own tapes still, but he had to pick one or the other. You can't do both.
Yeah.
Look at how good I am. Let me
I know,
rewind
right?
that again.
Look how fast I am.
He's good. All right, take a look at this, and we're going to take a break right after.
Hit the refresh button because it's almost the weekend. Time to take the next minute or so to just sit back, relax, and reflect on life's many blessings. I asked you on my Facebook page, Mega Malaris News, to tell me something good, big or small, that happened in your life recently.
Brenda's granddaughter got married last weekend in a beautiful wedding. Shannon went to Mississippi to see her niece get married in a gorgeous ceremony. Donna is getting a new grandchild. They did a reveal and it's a boy. Michael marked 7 months of sobriety. Lisa cheered on her granddaughter who competed in the Miss South Carolina pageant. It was amazing. Teresa got to spend the week with her 10-year-old amazingly smart grandson. She loves the Mimi life. Jim's puppy learned how to sit. Al got closer to his dreams 1% better every day. George wasn't selected to be on a jury. Linda spent time with all of her granddaughters, lots of hugs and kisses. Mary had 2 recent falls. She's in a boot and bandages, but thankful to be okay. And Leanne is cancer-free.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. We are 1/2 hour closer to the weekend.
Getting ready to peace out. All right, don't go anywhere just yet. Still a lot of news and conversations all to get to this afternoon.
Let's start with another weather check with meteorologist Monique Robinson tracking some summer storms.
Yeah, it is summertime and it feels like it in some places with the heat and humidity. This is a time lapse of Winston-Salem. So around 2 p.m., this is when the activity kind of started. It kind of moves through quickly. We had a rain shaft, another one moved through, and then the cloud, a bug out there as well, and then the cloud activity started to break and then getting to see some sunshine. This camera view isn't the best. I know it looks a little muggy, but we did have some showers roll through. So the leading edge of a cold front, that's what's pushing in shower and storm activity. But then for the course of your Saturday, we're going to be on the flip side on more drier conditions. Now, as we go into your Sunday, that's when we're going to be right in the pocket of a warm sector, right behind a warm front, just ahead of a cold front. And that's what increases the chance of showers and storms for your Sunday. So Saturday is looking mainly dry. I'm going to step out so you can see that full graphic. It's going to be mainly dry and mostly sunny. So you know what that means? Hot, because we won't have any shower or storms to be able to cool us down. So we're going to feel really hot on Saturday. Definitely a day for the sunscreen and the sunglasses. Sunday, hot and humid, but then the increased chance of showers and storms. Again, we're in that warm sector. So this is the severe weather outlook for Sunday. The Storm Prediction Center puts parts of the Triad, mostly towards the west, under a marginal risk for severe weather. I'll be here all weekend tracking the storm, so I'll be able to give you an update, especially tomorrow and then going into your Sunday. But here's a look at how things are shaping up to be as we go through the weekend. So mainly dry Saturday, but we're going to be hot by the evening, afternoon, early evening, and then going into your Sunday, increased chance for scattered showers and storms. That full 7-day putting the heat back on the map, as well as chance of showers and storms for you.
COVID-19 remains a dire threat across parts of the U.S. Now there are growing concerns about how long the vaccines remain effective. Pfizer just announced it wants to introduce a third booster dose, but the FDA is not convinced. Skylar Henry reports.
Pfizer's 2-dose vaccine has protected millions of Americans from COVID-19. Now the company says a third dose could dramatically boost immunity. That announcement came after a study in Israel found the vaccine becomes less effective over time.
What they are seeing is a small number of people who are elderly who got the vaccine early on in January are having some mild symptoms, period. So it's not clear we need a booster, but it is clear that a booster will dramatically increase immunity.
The Food and Drug Administration, together with the CDC, responded to Pfizer's announcement within hours, saying fully vaccinated Americans do not need a booster at this time. Dr. David Agus says it's the unvaccinated population that remains most at risk.
99.7% of hospitalizations of COVID-19 patients in the United States now are unvaccinated.
Pfizer says it'll ask the FDA to grant emergency use authorization for a third dose later this summer, and that it could make the vaccine 5 to 10 times more effective. But health agencies say a booster will be approved only if and when science shows it's needed. The powerful Delta variant is now the dominant strain in the U.S., driving up to 80% of new infections in part of the Midwest that remain undervaccinated.
The time for watching to see what's going to happen it's over. If you're really serious about protecting yourself and protecting your family, it's time to get vaccinated now.
The latest research shows that the full dosage of current vaccines offers strong protection even against that Delta variant. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. New warning signs are now up all along the Dan River weeks after that deadly tubing accident. These signs will be in Spanish and in addition to English warning signs, some new ones that are going up. Dan River keepers say the first of the signs is now installed and the rest will go up shortly. Last month, a family tubing trip ended in tragedy when 5 people died after going over the Duke Energy Dam. Incredible moments captured on body camera footage here when the Louisville police officers found a missing 6-year-old who had been kidnapped. The kidnapping happened last week. Arrest records say a 40-year-old man took the girl while she was playing outside. A witness eventually spotted the suspect's car, which led police to make an arrest and safely rescue that 6-year-old. CBS News reports the U.S. Capitol Police Department could run out of money this fall unless Congress takes action. Lawmakers need to sign off on a nearly $2 billion supplemental security funding bill to keep the department up and running. If not, the agency could run out of money as soon as August. If the bill doesn't pass by then, the department could move money around to stay funded until September, but it could cause officers to have to pay for their own health insurance in that case. All right, WINNER, that's who we're talking about next. 14-year-old Zaya Avant-Garde, a student in Louisiana, is this year's Scripps National Spelling Bee winner. She beat out 10 other spellers for the title and is the first African-American student to win the spelling competition. But spelling is not all that she's good at. Look at this juggling and basketball skills. She actually holds 3 Guinness records for her dribbling skills. She hopes to put these talents to use and maybe play in the WNBA one day, in addition to being an incredible speller. That's pretty cool.
How do you get to have all those gifts? All those gifts!
We're seeing a lot of kids today with a lot of gifts.
I know. And I just can't even get over, she's got like 7 basketballs going and she's on a unicycle.
Yeah.
How do you even think, hey, let me try this?
I know. In her room, if you go and look at that video, she's got like 24 basketballs lined up on these 3 shelves in her bedroom. So you know she's in there all the time. Hope she's not upstairs above the parents, above the living room.
Yeah, right.
Constantly.
The whole thing.
Yes.
All right. All right. So let's go to this. You ready? We're going to check out a time lapse, my friends. So this is a time lapse. I'm trying to light a lot of candles here. Okay, and I almost burnt myself lighting them all, I will tell you that. So there's 50 candles on the cake, and it's mine.
Not everybody, though, is as happy as Tanya Rivera about turning 50.
So here's my thought with that, right? We do all these stories all the time about people who don't make it until 50.
It's true.
So I am happy to be 50, right? My family also made birthdays really fun. In fact, they would make it birthday month. Do you people have any people in your life who have birthday months?
No, never heard of that.
What?
No.
I have heard of that.
Oh, you have? I have not.
Birthday month!
People celebrate all month
The
long.
whole month?
The whole month! It's an excuse to like eat cake and other things that you shouldn't be probably big on. All right, it's a big birthday, so I wanted to do something big. So first and foremost, what I want you to do is I want you to get your phones out at home because you're gonna need them in just a minute. In the meantime, while you go grab your phone, I'm gonna grab this thing.
Oh, I remember this thing.
All right, so this is one of my favorite things right here. This right here, my friends, is the prize wheel.
And it sounds like Wheel of Fortune. I like that.
It does. Sometimes you just need a prize. And so what we wanted to do, I'm making 2 big wishes. And one of the wishes is to spread joy, because I think people after this last year need a little something, don't you think? And sometimes you can't give, right? Sometimes you can't give. Sometimes you just need to get a little something. And they're going to come and they're going to spin the wheel.
And they win something with this? This is cool.
Okay, and they win all kinds of things. And we're talking everything from going to see a baseball game in town. We're talking about some sweet treats that are free. We're talking about maybe dinner out. We're talking about some really great prizes, all donated by local businesses. So you can spin the wheel Tuesday, July 20th, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Harris Teeter at the Friendly Shopping Center. And this is while the supplies last. We got a bunch of surprises, but it's while the prizes last. And I call it spreading joy. So it's one of my 2 birthday wishes. The other wish, it is a biggie. I got to take this down. While we
And if we
look
get
at
prizes,
this.
I want you to have more big birthdays.
Right?
Please.
Okay, so this is my big thing. You might have to move because we have to see
50,000.
this.
Let me step out of the way.
50,000 meals. I want to provide 50,000 meals for people in our area on the birthday. So to make this goal, we need money and food donations.
How we're going to do that?
We are going to do that. We are going to do that by donating online if you want to. In fact, the live online donation just went up live. And check this out, because this is where you need your phone. Okay, so this is a QR code, my friends, right? And this is going to lead you to the donation link. So what do you do? Okay, this is what you do. I'm gonna step here just to show you what you do, right? You get on your camera and then you hover it over, and then this little website thingy pops up and you get the link. So I'm gonna get out of the way so that you can take your phone and again, put it for your camera, look at the QR code, and the little link is gonna pop up at the top. and that way you are able to donate. It's really easy to do that, the donation page. $1 will provide 7 meals, so that's huge. I'm just saying, if you got $1, donate $1. I love my bobblehead. All right, so along with the money donations, we're taking food donations, of course. It's a one-day food drive with Second Harvest Food Bank. This is Tuesday, July 20th, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Harris Teeter at the Friendly Center. I will be there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So stop by, say hi, happy birthday, the whole spiel, spin the wheel, donate.
Am I gonna check? Yeah, mic check 1, 2. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. We're talking some CP3. We're just talking CP3 and how good he's been, and I think he's gonna win it all this year. Where do you want me standing at the table? Okay. 10 foe.
The Phoenix Suns are just 2 games away from winning the NBA Finals. If they do, it will be the team's first NBA championship.
And of course, helping the team get those wins is Wake Forest alum Chris Paul.
Yep, Luke Liddon standing by now. CP3 keeps making his way into those record books, it seems like, Luke, throughout the finals.
Yeah, he really does. And as the man gets older, he seems to keep just getting better and better. It's pretty surreal to watch at 36 years old. Because last night in Game 2 of the NBA Finals, CP3 passed Kobe Bryant for 10th all-time in career playoff assists. Now, this is the first trip to the finals for Paul, and he isn't letting the moment get too big for him. Last night, he dropped 23 points, 8 assists as the Suns took that 2-0 series lead over Milwaukee. Just 2 wins away. So much excitement, right? Yes, but for the veteran, it's all about remaining present and not looking ahead.
I do a pretty good job of staying in the moment. You know, maybe a lot of the guys on our team, this is their first playoff series. You know, they don't know the heartache or the heartbreak. They just out there playing. So for me, I know how quick things can change. I know how a possession or a play can change the dynamics of an entire series. So for me, I don't get too high, I don't get too low. I just stay even keel.
I tell you what, there's no better vet to have on your side right now than Chris Paul. Just 2 wins away from his first ever NBA title and for the Suns franchise as well. And the best part, he's a North Carolina boy doing this on the biggest stage there is. Game 3 coming your way this Sunday at 8 p.m.
Chris Paul is getting a lot of attention being in the NBA Finals, and he's using his platform to bring awareness to HBCUs. CP3 wore a Winston-Salem State jersey in one of his press conferences. Here's his response when asked why he chose to represent different HBCUs.
I have a class right now at A&T, at North Carolina A&T, a class with Miss Anita Elbers, and just championing HBCUs, just trying to make sure that they get that spotlight. Did an interview with Deion Sanders, and just trying to, champion them the best way I can.
CP3 says he's enrolled at Winston-Salem State, taking communications classes. Now he graduated from Wake Forest, we know that, but well, looks like he's doing that too.
That's amazing. He's such a cool guy, and he's been that way since he was a teenager.
Yeah. And it's been so cool to watch his journey. He played at West Forsyth High School, Wake Forest for 2 years, drafted in the NBA. And we know he's had a lot of injury issues in the postseason. He's never been able to make it to the big game, to the finals, but it's, I think, knock on wood, that he's 2 wins away. I think just the stars are aligning. I think this is his time. 16 years in the league.
He's had heartbreaking losses in playoffs, like things that you would never expect to happen, and not just because he's local, but he's a great player. He deserves to have a championship. I hope they win.
And it's not surprising to see him wear this kind of stuff in press conferences because we know throughout the past season or two he's been representing HBCUs on his sneakers and stuff like that. So,
and he's just a give back kind of guy.
Always.
And he's a local boy that makes it so much better.
I know.
How exciting.
I know. All the good things. All the good things.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and we're coming right back. Stay there.
All right, everyone loves new car smell, but what about new car features? Okay, I drove a 2005 Honda up until just like about a year ago or so. It was a great car, all 270,000 miles and all. It's still running, by the way. My new car has new features that I love that I didn't know I was going to miss until I had a new car, like the backup camera. For instance, I was delivering all the balloons and they were stuck in the back and I could not see out of my rearview mirror, but I had the backup camera and I could see everything. Okay, so Debbie says her backup camera, car alert and GPS, she says she'll never get lost again. I'm with you. Johnny joked, the pavements, dun-dun-dun. But then he said this Sirius radio feature, he listens to the 60s all the time. And then TL says, love it when my hands are full, I can wave my foot underneath the bottom and my trunk opens up for me hands free. That is so cool. Steven said, my front end sensors, so I don't need the tennis ball in the garage anymore, which I do have in my garage as well. And Alan says he loves the heated steering wheel in the winter. I bet that is nice.
I have that.
You do?
I would like that.
And I love it. I use it all the time. I actually have cool seats in the front, so not only heated, but in the summer you can turn it on. There's like a tiny little cool breeze on the seat. I know, you're like, oh. I don't like this.
Because you know, you have to get used to the heated seats, right? Because at first you think to yourself, what is happening?
Yeah, what's happening?
Yeah.
Am I sick? That's crazy.
Okay.
On that note, we'll go to Monique now and see what's happening.
Well, Elsa continues to impact portions of the East Coast, but now post-tropical storm Elsa, as you can see, affecting now southern portions of New England, really starting to dissipate, and that's what we expect over the next several days. Other than that, the tropics are quiet. Here at home, though, this is a storm system that has just pushed well to our east, affecting Chatham, Durham, Orange, and Wake counties with wind speeds of 60 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued just to our east, so just past us. But it does have abundant lightning with it as well, as long as with those strong winds. So observe rainfall for today. Some locations saw rain, others didn't. Some of those showers that pushed through brought a real big downpour in some locations, but overall very scattered, and that's going to be the case for your Sunday as well. And you can see it right here on the 7-day.
All right, you know, loss is hard to deal with at any age, but for kids, it can be especially difficult. Mountain Valley Hospice in Mount Airy has an answer, though, through their Teen Grief Camp. I spoke with counselor Katie Moser about this wonderful summer camp. Take a look. So Katie, you know, I've been through this with hospice, and I know firsthand how important it is for people to kind of understand their grief, but I never thought about this. It's so much more important, I think, when you're dealing with teens. Tell me about this camp and what people can expect if they want to participate.
So our Camp Kids Path is going to be hosted at the Salem Baptist Church in Dobson, North Carolina. It's a 2-day camp on July 22nd and July 23rd. It is from 8 p.m. to 5 p.m. on both days. Our camp has a big combination of crafts and arts and games and outdoor activities, scavenger hunt, water activities. So a lot of different activities to engage our children and teenagers who are grieving a loss of a loved one.
And you know, when you're dealing with that, you and I had talked before the interview, and you said that, you know, grief makes people feel alone. That's so true. How do we fix that through this camp?
Through camp, you know, they're going to honor their loved ones. They're going to learn ways to name their emotion, identify their emotions, and then learn how to cope. Typically through grief, you know, all grief does not look the same, Eric, but typically through grief, we do feel alone and we do feel isolated. And then from being alone and isolated, we typically have some shame in our feelings. So through grief camp, what I'm really looking forward to is having our children all together as a group to hear other people's stories, to hear other children and teenagers who look like them and have similar experiences to them, share their emotions and feelings. And then they will feel more normalized. And really, it'll just help them, you know, take ownership of their own experiences.
Great thing you're doing. Keep it up, Katie. Thanks so much. We'll see a lot of folks going to that camp, I'm sure. And if you want more information about that camp, we have it online for you at WFMYnews2.com. Stick around. We have My 2 Cents coming up. We're talking a little bit about grief and loss in My 2 Cents today. It's a special story that's happening in my household.
I didn't think I was in the A block. I'm in the A block? Okay.
Mic check, Tim. 1, 2, 3. Storms are clearing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hello, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check.
Hi, TB is Elsa. Tropical storm is Elsa just Elsa now? What was Elsa?
Elsa's dead.
Hi.
Elsa is a post-tropical system.
Reaction I had. Hey, okay, officially this is my last live shot. I thought yesterday was. In full circle, I'm with Manning. Actually, yeah, and Manning was my photographer for my first live shot at WFMY. Thumbs up, yep.
Or should I say?
Wow.
Welcome to My Two Cents. You know, normally I always try to do something fun and funny, especially on a Friday as we head into the weekend, but today is not that day. Today it's a rather emotional My Two Cents, especially for my third oldest son, Tyler, my third of my 4 kids. Tyler's 11 years old, and he got his first pet that was just his about a year ago, a little more than a year ago. And he had a leopard gecko, this guy, named Gumball, who was full of energy and so much fun to watch. He would keep Gumball either in his hand or on his shoulder or on his laptop while he worked in remote learning during the COVID period and the pandemic. He loved Gumball very much. They were very, very close, but by the time this airs, he will have had to have said goodbye to Gumball. We didn't know this, but he had a degenerative bone disease that basically would lead to his passing. And as it got worse and worse, we had to make that decision. So I will tell you that the loss of a pet for an adult is very difficult, but the loss of a pet for a child is at a different level. And I will tell you also as a parent, to watch that look on your child's face when he realizes he has to say goodbye is one of the hardest things I've ever watched or had to do in my life. He's a wonderful kid, Tyler, and he's got a huge heart. So for him to say goodbye to his pet is very difficult. So just know that these are life lessons that we all have to learn, right? We all have to learn how to say goodbye, whether it's a pet or a loved one. We all are faced with those issues. Doesn't make it any easier, but just know that it's part of life and something we have to learn and deal with. So my heart and my prayers, but mostly all of my heart goes out to my third oldest Tyler today as he learns a tough life lesson. And that's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Elsa has left the Carolina coast. Now our usual heat and humidity have moved back in.
And with that comes the chance, as we all know, for storms, maybe big gusts of wind or even lightning. And you're taking a look at our live radar across the Triad right now. So let's check in with Tim Buckley. Tim, what do our